Hi everybody, Carol here. Glad you could come today. Today I'm going to make a card, actually not using any stamps, but I am going to use a die, a hillside village die, you'll see. But right now I'm cutting out my cardstock. I make my cards A6 size, which is 6 1/4 by 4 1/2. And so I'm cutting some red pieces that you'll see where they come into play in a little while. And my card base is 9, so I'm scoring it at 4 1/2, so that when I fold it, it will be 4 1/2 by 6 1/4. And so I'm using a wooden bone folder that I found a long time ago at a garage sale, and it is so wonderful. It's so smooth in my hand. And I'm putting it under a heavy book to fold that down really nice and flat. Now I'm going back with a ruler and a white marker and marking how far up I want to come on this sheet of paper. And I'm actually marking, I have 5 dots on the top on one row, and 2 rows of that, and then 6 on the other end of the card, other side of the card. And so I'm just marking to get an idea of where to place those dots. And what I'm going to do is I was just spacing that equidistance. I thought rather than doing the measurements, I will just spread that out equally over where the ruler landed on there. But I'm going back with a 1/4 inch hole punch and punching those out, and then I stagger them the way you would lay brick. And I didn't have to measure those. This is just a card, homemade looking card. It doesn't have to be perfect. So then this is the row that has 5 dots or cutouts, and then I go back and do the remaining 4 in this case on in between those 5. So that shows you what it looks like to have the polka dots cut out. Now the hillside that I had cut was too big. I went back and trimmed it down, a much smaller strip, and I'm laying it more toward the bottom. And I put some black and white ribbon, and I'm showing you the different choices I had. I have a little stash of ribbons. They're polka dot, but they're different. And I decided on this one. I like it. And then I have a little black and white plaid ribbon that I put on the top. But I also was showing that you could even use baker's twine. Use what you have. At one point, I go back and I even cut a strip of paper, and you certainly could have a strip of paper up at the top. I was going to show how when you cut one of these things out with a die, you have that extra piece on top that is still good. There's no sense in throwing it away. And I saved mine, and then I was showing how you can mix and match. Like I could put the black with the white, or I could have a blue sky and a green village, or it's fun to mix and match and put those together like a puzzle. And then on this one, I just thought, well, I'm going to draw where that cutout was, and go back and put some glue and glitter on it, and you'll see that in a minute. Now, I also thought I could use a stamp just to show different things that we can do with products that we have. And so with my VersaFine black onyx ink, I am stamping up this long stamp that's checkerboard by Delusions, and I'm going to use it at some point on a card. And I don't even have to have ribbon. And so I stamp both sides, so in case I have it out and I'm using it, so I might as well make an extra one, and I can cut it out at some other time. Now as for those little red punch outs, I save those too, because that makes good confetti, or if you want to put dots on another sheet of paper, or if you want to make a shaker card, you can use those. And I save different colors in different jars. And so here I am. I'm putting my red cardstock back down on top of my card base. And then I'm putting down this village scene that I traced with the pencil a while ago. I laid the top down, traced on the inside of it with a pencil, and I'm going to make a different kind of card. Now this time, with being ribbon and being a little bit unwieldy and so flexible, I thought I better measure this because I could stretch it and pull it and turn it and make it go any which way. It's not stiff, in other words. So I thought I better measure and be sure I am getting that straight. I had to fiddle with it a little bit because it does have glue on it. But then I'm opening up that piece and turning the ribbon in and sticking it onto the glue. I should have done that actually before I glued the red sheet down, but I forgot. So since it's repositional glue by Tombow, I can do that, and then I'm going to put some on the ribbon where I covered over the previous gluing I'd done. So now I have the ribbon down, and I'm going to come back and put this black on top of where I drew. And you can see the glitter. Not only just to draw it, but to go back with some glue and put it in there, and then sprinkle it with glitter, and come back, and you have a different look. It's still a village and a night scene, but it's a different look. I have to go back and cut off the extra black. Now, with this illusion stamp, I'm going to cut it out, and it's a wavery. It's not a straight line. It's a wavery line, and so just cut that out, get some glue on it. Again, my Tombow, I say the Tombow liquid glue that is repositionable, and I love it. Now I'm going to take a stamp out of this Loads of Love stamp set. It's a Merry Christmas, and there are two phrases on there. And I decided I stamped them all so that I could use them all at one time if I wanted to, but I really just want the Merry Christmas. So I cut it out of the middle, saved the other for another card, came back, put it all together, and I'm going to put my little Merry Christmas up there in the corner. If I can decide where to put it, decided to put it at an angle. Now this one, with the stamped border, and coming back, so I have basically a white border and then a checkerboard border, and we'll cut that off. And I realized that still really wasn't straight, but it's easy to work with and easy to pull up. So now I have the Merry Christmas for this card. And I was trying to decide, I wanted to just see, I thought I still wanted to put it in the same place, but I thought I'd see what it looked like in other places. And so there you have two different cards, 3 all total, and a different look. So I hope you'll make one. Try your dies and play with your dies and see what different things you can come up with. In fact, I added something here at the end to show even a different way. I'm using a dark green and a light green to show you how they can fit together and make a nice look. Yellow. But then I decided to put the green down onto the white and glue while it's on there and use that as a guide for my glue. I didn't do that with the other one. The other one I used the pencil line to go by. And a nice benefit of this was some of the glue that spread around actually made the green stick to the white, so I didn't have to go back and glue it in. But then I just sprinkled the glitter on this, and I was kind of curious as to how it would work, and it worked just fine. And then I thought, if you are missing your door and your windows, which of course you don't get from the top when you're cutting using the top and not the bottom, go back with a Millennium pen or some kind of ink pen and draw them in yourself. You could color the window yellow. You could do a lot of things with your own artistry. So there you are. Yet another idea. Another thing we can do with the same products that we've used over and over again, and need to come up with new ideas. That's what it would look like if it had the red polka dot background. So have fun, create. Here's yet another idea. Use your rectangle dies. Have fun. See you next time.